How do the world's strongest and fittest athletes, trained to outwit death at every moment, immediately keel over without warning? How do champions with doctors, trainers, and fans around them vanish without explanation? Were these disasters mere freak accidents, or is something more sinister going on behind the scenes? Keep watching to uncover the 10 athlete deaths that may not be as accidental as they seem. Number 10. Marc-Vivien Foé, A Nation Mourns. It was June 26, 2003. Cameroon was playing Colombia in the FIFA Confederations Cup semi-final. In the 72nd minute, midfielder Marc-Vivien Foé fell to the ground alone. There was no contact and there was no indication. Resuscitation efforts were unsuccessful. He was just 28. The official reason was hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
Marc-Vivien Foé collapsed and died for no apparent reason during this morning's Confederations Cup semi-final against Colombia.
An unknown heart disease. But the film stunned the world. Why did he drop suddenly like this? Why was this not picked up earlier by club doctors, national medics, or FIFA? Many called it a failure of sport medicine. Some offered overtraining or more sinister theories of explanation, doping or malpractice. One minute he was running for his nation, the next he was gone, and no one had answers. Number 9. Reggie Lewis. A heart that shouldn't have failed. Boston Celtics leader Reggie Lewis was in the prime of his NBA career when he collapsed during a light practice in 1993.
Reggie Lewis is out of the playoffs after a panel of doctors found, quote, cardiac abnormalities that contributed to his fainting during the playoff opener on Thursday. Lewis slowly collapsed to the court at Boston Garden in a scene chillingly similar.
He was 27 at the time. He had also collapsed weeks before during a playoff game. Some physicians diagnosed hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Others did not agree. Reggie obtained second opinions and was cleared to play again. The decision took his life. Following his death, suspicion flew. Was he misdiagnosed? Had doctors been pressured? Was there a cover-up? There were whispers of potential cocaine use, though nothing was ever substantiated. Even more chilling is that Reggie knew something was amiss, and yet he died attempting to do what he loved. Number 8. Zeke Upshaw. The collapse that raised legal questions. Zeke Upshaw, an NBA G League basketball player aged 26, collapsed during a game in 2018. He wasn't hurt. Nobody laid hands on him.
Basketball player Zeke Upshaw of the G League's Grand Rapids Drive died this morning. Fans and team members were shocked over the weekend when Upshaw collapsed on the court during a game.
He just fell in the middle of the game. 2 days later, he was dead. The reason is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the same as Reggie Lewis. The same, undetected. But this time his family sued, claiming the arena was short-staffed with emergency medical workers. There were no defibrillators or a CPR unit. In a game where athletes train their bodies to the extreme, how could this occur in front of thousands and nobody was prepared? Zeke's death was not only a tragedy, it was also a mystery that has gone unanswered today, raising legal, ethical, and moral issues. Number 7. Alexei Sharapanov, The Icy Mystery. Russia's most talented hockey prospect was picked up by the NHL, playing for Avangard Omsk at age 19. He collapsed on the bench during a 2008 game and never came out.
His 19-year-old New York Rangers prospect Alexei Sharapanov has died during a game in the Russian Continental League today. The Omsk forward collapsed at the bench.
Officials said it was a heart problem, but then things became strange. Emergency gear wasn't functioning. The ambulance had departed the arena. Tests confirmed Alexei suffered from a heart condition, but also the presence of banned substances. It could have been medical malpractice, a cover-up, or worse. Some suspect team administrators looked the other way to ensure he remained on the field. Others suppose the actual explanation was pushed under the ice. No one was ever held responsible. Number 6. Cormac McAnallen, a healthy athlete gone overnight. Irish Gaelic football player Cormac McAnallen was the epitome of health. He was young, fit, and popular. However, what followed was totally unexpected. He slept at the age of 24 and never awoke. The reason was sudden adult death syndrome.
Last year's All-Ireland winning side was made captain at the beginning of this season. Among those who paid tribute were the Taoiseach and the President. The Gaelic Players Association described him as a cherished and respected member of the GAA who would be sorely missed.
A health condition so infrequent that it typically occurs without warning. But Cormac had previously passed the team exams. He exhibited no symptoms, and his death became a national shock. Afterward, questions poured in. How many competitors are time bombs waiting to happen? How many cardiac tests miss actual peril? His death prompted more heart screening in Ireland, but it failed to tell us why Cormac died without any warning signs. Number 5. Birgit Dressel, the Prince of Performance. In 1987, 26-year-old German hepathlete Birgit Dressel died instantly of multiple organ failure. That was because of long-term steroids and other drug abuse. Upon autopsy, there were traces of more than 100 different drugs in her system. Germany was shocked. Was she doping? Was she coerced into it by coaches? Did she know the risks? Others think she was a victim of the system. She worked too hard under international pressure to perform, represent her nation, and win at all costs. Her death revealed how ingrained the doping culture was in top sports, but the complete picture of what she was administered and by whom remained hidden. Number 4. Thomas Harrion. After the game, silence. Following a preseason game in 2005, San Francisco 49ers offensive lineman Thomas Harrion strolled into the locker room and fell over. He passed away shortly afterward. The reason was ischemic heart disease, which is a blockage of the flow of blood.
Thomas Harrion, the offensive lineman who collapsed and died after a preseason game in Denver.
But Thomas was only 23 years old. A pro, healthy, watched. So how did it never get discovered? Accounts indicate his size of more than 300 pounds was at least partly to blame. But others say football culture promotes huge weight gains without regard for long-term health. His death compelled the NFL to rethink medical screening, but things didn't change much. Thomas joined the list of ever-growing players who had died too soon. Number 3. Francisco Lazaro, the wax that killed. During the 1912 Stockholm Olympics, Portuguese marathon runner Francisco Lazaro died after collapsing during the race and passing away the following day. Why? Dehydration and heat stroke. But the irony? Francisco had covered his entire body in wax, not just to prevent sunburn, but to make his muscles appear more defined under the sun. But that layer of wax sealed his skin. It blocked his pores and stopped him from sweating. His body's natural cooling system. His body grew overheated and his organs shut down. It was a decision that took his life, and one that raised the specter of the lethal combination of pride, ignorance, and pressure in elite sport. His story became a symbol of how the pursuit of perfection can take a devastating toll and remains one of the Olympics' most ironic and haunting tragedies. Number 2. Ottavio Bottaccia, the silent ride to death. Ottavio Bottaccia was more than a cyclist. He was a national icon. He was the first Italian to conquer the Tour de France twice. No less, a name sculpted into the annals of European cycling. But in 1927, that year turned sinister. He was lying unconscious on a deserted roadside, skull cracked, bone shattered, body bruised, but curiously, his bicycle remained unscathed, standing unharmed. 12 days passed before he died in secret. No onlookers, no reason. Initially, rumors were of a collision. But how does an experienced cyclist crash so brutally without a single scratch on his bike? Years afterward, a farmer reputedly made a deathbed confession. He assaulted Bottaccia for pilfering grapes, but nobody believed it. The tale seemed too tidy, too neat. Others think something more sinister was going on. Bottaccia was an avowed anti-fascist under Mussolini, a man with views, power, and detractors. Some think he was silenced, murdered under the cover of a cycling accident. Almost 100 years on, the truth remains absent. All that is left is a shattered body and an enigma that will not dissipate. Number 1. Juan Izquierdo, the final whistle. In 2024, in a standard match in Brazil's Serie B league, 27-year-old Uruguayan footballer Juan Izquierdo dropped dead on the field. 1 second he was moving, engaged, alert, alive. Next he lay flat. He was taken to the hospital but declared dead soon after. And then, nothing. Video evidence attested to the chilling reality. There was no tackle, no foul, no warning sign. Just a man who fell before thousands of people. Conjecture broke out on social media. Cardiac arrest? Underlying heart problem? Heat exhaustion? Or something environmental? Or something else? The inquiry continues. Foul play hasn't been established, but it hasn't been eliminated either. What makes it even more haunting is that Izquierdo was the perfect picture of a vigorous young man, fit and conditioned to withstand, and yet he collapsed without cause, without explanation. Now the world of football holds its breath for the truth, for closure, but above all else, for answers that might never arrive. From crowded arenas to quiet hotel suites, these athletes died doing what they loved, just preparing for it. These stories remind us that even the strongest among us are vulnerable. Behind the glory and accolades lie tales of tragedy and unanswered questions. What do you think? Are these mere coincidences, or is there more beneath the surface? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more intriguing stories.